Good morning, SPED 634. This is your friendly instructor, Mindaleo Dadisi Jacobs, coming to you to give voice to some of the features that you can find in this course. Then also, my hope is that at the end of watching this video, you would be able to frame your approach to the assignments for the rest of the month. So let's go ahead and let's start off by looking at the course syllabus. In here, you would have a course outline which has been updated. All you have to do is simply click the link here, and what should open up for you or download for you is the Word version of this particular document. Please make note of not only my name but the contact number, which is good for calls or text messages, and then also the email is there, right? Then also what I did was I created a little cheat sheet for you all this week with announcements and dates for you to check off the things that need to be done within the first 2 weeks of the course. All right, I hope that's helpful. Then as we go forward, I want to call your attention to the course announcements. I uploaded quite a few today, so I'm hoping that it doesn't overwhelm you. But I just wanted to show you that there is a generic, or a general, not generic, but a general welcome message that basically asks that you look at all of the course announcements. Then also a announcement announcing the checklist. Here is a link here as well that you can simply just click and it would open up the same document. Okay, I try to make it as convenient as possible. You don't have to go doubling back and things of that nature. Then also, some of you may not be in a school setting or have access to a Woodcock Johnson. So what I would ask that you do is you would click this Google form, and if you don't have access to a formal assessment, that you go ahead and put the information in this form accordingly, and then push submit, and then it will notify me on the back end through a spreadsheet of those of you who need to get a copy of a Woodcock Johnson. Then also I had two of you, well actually just one of the candidates this morning kind of beat me to the sign up for your first week, right? The week one, this week, your student study team, which is a Blackboard Collaborate session. So what this is about is this is how you would actually request your role. You would simply go here and you can type directly here if you want to, all right? So that's a there, but you know, you go ahead and you fill this information in. You scroll all the way down after you've selected which roles you would like to play, and then also the date in which you plan to attend. Then what you would do is you would submit this as well. Okay, so notice that there are 3 choices, and the reason for that is because on the other end there are people who have already signed up, and if you have signed up and you have been given a role, you would know that because this is green. If you check on this and realize that your name is here and it's yellow, that indicates that you have duplicated a request. So before you go in and fill out the Google Sheet, right, down here, you want to consult this spreadsheet to make sure that the role and the time that you are asking for hasn't already been given to someone else. All right, and then the last announcement that I'm hoping that I'm going to do today, with the exception of the posting of this video, is the points that I've made where I deconstructed the prompt for your weekly discussions And I wanted to let you know that there is only one discussion topic that you need to participate in each week. Participation looks like simply going in the first week by Thursday, right? No later than Thursday of each week, and you're going to post your initial response to one of the topics. And you will see very soon what I mean by that. Then you would also, by Sunday, would have posted 2 additional posts to what your classmates have said. A very important aspect that I need to point out to you is that you also need to support any statements or claims that you've made with specific textbook references. You can also include websites or embed links like I have done so far. If you want to reference articles, any 2.0 tools or tools that can be found on the internet that can make your work a little bit easier. Videos, if there's a video that you think is on the topic and you would like to share that, any of that information could be provided here. If you embed it into your response where there's an active link, you don't have to worry about any APA formatting because we can simply click on the word or the URL and be taken there to be able to do this, okay, or to review your sources. All right. I also want to point out that if you quote or if you list the Warshauer book, it will not fulfill the requirement on the rubric which says that you must include proper citations. Okay. You need to at least use the Spinelli text. Any other text that you have kind of gathered over the course of your academic career here at National. It can be other resources that you've been exposed to and that you would like to include. Okay, but please do not simply list the book where the case studies are listed. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to walk you through week 1. Okay. I don't know what that's asking me for, but okay. Let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, as always, you would have a unit introduction at the beginning, just like this, let you know what it is that you will be discussing, right? And what you would be able to do at the close of each of these weeks. The textbook readings are here. Okay, so the Spinelli text, you need to read chapters 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the other texts, you would just read the first 2 chapters. All right. There are lectures provided here in 2 different formats, both the Flash and the PowerPoint. You can use either of those. There's an activity here that you can complete just to test your knowledge. Then also there is the collaboration assignment. If you decide that you're not able to come to any of those that were listed in the Google form, do know that you will be responsible to listen to Thursday night's session and go ahead and do a write-up accordingly as outlined here in bullet 2 and post it here by June the 11th. Okay, still 5 points. Now what I also want to say is if you came to join us on Thursday, I want you to come in here and simply put a comment here for me that says I played the role of, and then whatever role you played. So say for instance you played the role of counselor, right? You'll simply do that, put your name, and then submit. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because it would show up on the back end for me as something needing to be graded, and then it also reminds me of what role you played. Okay. I forgot another critical aspect is I played the role of counselor on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Okay. A very brief statement like that. Okay. No other information, just what role were you granted, what day did you participate. Okay. Then you would submit that. Again, because this is an alternative assignment, if you were to do the 2-page summary, okay, you would just need to attach the file of your write-up here just as you would any other written submission, okay? But I also wanted to double up and say, hey, even if you did attend, put a little note here for me so that I can go ahead and provide you the appropriate grade based on the role you played. So this Dropbox, for lack of better words, is going to serve two purposes, one for the alternative assignment, the other for the actual role play. Okay, so I'm going to cancel and get out of that. So we're still in week 1. All right, so that's the collaborate session, alternative assignment. Now let's look at the discussion. Now, I don't know if you remembered when I was trying to make a big deal about only choosing one, okay? What I want you to pay attention to is the title over here, right? So this is the properties, it says, of various discussion. This is week 1 discussion 1, week 1 discussion 2, week 1 discussion 3, week 1 discussion 4. You only have to choose one of these 4 for week 1 to participate in. Once you click it and open it up, you would then be responsible for answering questions, right? Responding to 3 to 4 questions that were at the end of the case study found in the Roshar book. So you would do that initially. Then you will come back before Sunday of each week and you would post additional responses to what your peers have said. Okay? So that's for week 1. Again, choose one to complete. Then if you look at week 2, looking ahead, you'll notice that there's 5, 6. There are a total of 6 threaded discussions. Only choose one. Okay? Now I know that as soon as we start looking at this, we're like, oh my God, there are 6 discussions. You don't have to do all 6. All right, so just choose one. Okay, by the end of each week, you should have one initial and followed up with at least 2 responses to what your peers have said. All right, so let's go back. So we did the threaded discussion. And there is an RTI paper. Okay, the RTI paper has a prompt, assignment prompt listed here. You will want to read this, deconstruct it, and respond to each of the questions that are listed here. I would strongly encourage you not to just simply copy the prompt and put it into a paper and then answer the questions informally. All assignments should have a very strong academic feel to it. There is a rubric, so I just clicked to submit. You can go and review the rubric so you will know exactly what it is that you need to do. You'll notice here that the expectations say, is there a strong opening reflecting main ideas for each area? Does the writer consistently address? Okay, so when you're looking at completing the assignment, before you upload it, you will want to go here and look at the rubric to make sure that you have addressed the prompt adequately, but then also that you have written or constructed your paper and it fulfills the requirements as outlined here. Okay. Please note our sources accurately documented in APA format. That's not only the citations at the end, your reference list, but it's also how did you use that information inside of your write-up. So your in-text citations, making sure that they're properly formatted, okay? So that's very important for all written assignments. So going back to week 1, the last thing I will want to do is point out how we're looking ahead for our first curriculum-based measurements in mathematics. I sent out a very brief email about a week or so ago, and it told you that it was very important for you to find 3 to 4 students that you can administer some curriculum-based measurements that you're going to create. So there's one for mathematics, there's one for reading, and there's one for writing. Each of those 3 areas begin at the second week of our course. So the math is due the second Sunday of our course, which is the 16th. The reading CBM that you're going to create is going to be in week 3, and that's going to be due on the 23rd. And then the last one is the writing CBM, and that's going to be required of you by the 30th of the month. Okay. The last section that I want to highlight here is there is the Google form located here for the Blackboard Collaborate, the SST, and you can get there by simply clicking that, and you can get to the form here as well. All right. If you want to know about the Google Sheet, right, who requested which roles, here we go right here. So that information is provided for you for your convenience here too as you're reading this. But then also, if you look here, if you want to know, because you've been granted the role of special ed teacher, you simply click that. It would then download the Word document that you would open up, and you would simply read so that you can prepare for the improvisation activity, right? Because it's not scripted, it's improv. You read this, and this is how you would prepare for your special ed teacher role, if that's the role you have been granted. Of course, if you need the psychologist role, it's there. The principal role is there. All of these icons represent that there's a Word document attached there. Of course, blue is indicating that there's a link. If you click that, that's how you will prepare. Okay. So that's week 1. Week 2, 3, and 4 will basically follow the same format, but just because I know that this is going a little bit longer than I anticipated, I wanted to show you some course resources. Right? It's important that you complete the student introduction. You can look at the general introduction. Your doc sharing. Okay? So there's a lot of information in here that you can look at, from examples or samples of your curriculum-based measurements. There's also field experience letters, right? The case study example, all right? Now, what I would say about this case study is that if you were to open it up and take a look at this, you'll notice that what's missing are the probes. The probes are those things that you place in front of the student and they write on, or that you're going to write on. That's all needing to be uploaded here. But you'll notice this is what we're going to produce by the end of the course. All right. You'll notice that the curriculum-based measurements are embedded in this write-up, as well as reference to the formal assessment. Okay. But what I wanted to make sure that I highlight for you and share with you is that it would make very much sense. Yeah, I don't think that made a lot of sense. But it would be very smart of you to choose one of the students that you are going to test each week, and you use that one student over the course of the month to be your focus student for your signature assignment. All right? So that would be very smart to do, and each week as you're completing the curriculum-based measurements in math and reading and in writing, you simply go to this, which you can actually use this as like a template if you like, and enable an editing here, and you can go in and just put in the information that it's relating to your student, and you would put this information in. And so each week as you complete your curriculum-based measurement, you would go ahead and put the information in here. So by the end of the 4th week, all you're doing is adding the formal assessment data inside of here. All right. So I hope that this was helpful. I would ask you to check the course announcement often, okay, at least daily, so you can see if there's anything that's in here that's relevant to you. All right. I hope you guys have a great month. And like I said, please make sure that you reach out to me if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your Sunday.